Ben Solak, of course, covers the NFL for ESPN. I like what Ben does. He's younger, but he's very good at what he does, I feel like, and he's very connected. He's very plugged in. I feel like we've talked about Ben a decent amount throughout the show. He's also one of those guys that does like all those NFL free agency lists. I saw NFL.com today, Daryl, had Malik Willis as the number 1 free agent on the board so far. I don't know about that dynamic running line that they had in there, but that's neither here nor there. Ben was on, naturally, ESPN, and he gave this thought on the teams that are involved in Malik Willis. Pay attention. Here we go.
The Jets, the Browns, to me, are a team where Todd Monken just worked with Lamar Jackson. That's a very copy and paste offense in terms of stylistically how Willis plays and how Lamar plays. Arizona is the other team. Monty Ossenfort, general manager there, was in Tennessee when Malik Willis was drafted by the Titans. So I think those 3 teams are going to be aggressively in on Willis, along with the Dolphins. Like I said, that Packers familiarity. And I just don't think the Dolphins have the cap to last in a bidding war if that's what this gets for Willis. And I don't think Willis is going to get insanely overpaid, but it is not a year to walk into the draft with a quarterback need. I can't stress that enough. And so I think Willis, if I had to go between, there's that Justin Fields deal at $20 million per year, and then the next highest deal is Baker.
Now, is Ben just connecting dots with obvious teams that need a quarterback, or are the Browns actual contenders here for Malik Willis?
I think he's connecting dots.
Okay. Because I have a landing spot. I've had one for a while for Malik Willis that just makes the most sense to me. I feel like it's going to be obvious when it happens. I think he ends up with the Cardinals. I think the Mike LaFleur, Matt LaFleur connection is, they're brothers. And so I think brothers are going to look out for brothers in this instance.
I think the Dolphins will be a player.
They might end up being a player when it's all said and done.
Here's the litmus test.
Okay.
If the Dolphins don't want him, that is alarm bells going off.
What do you mean?
Because their GM was in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Their GM knows him.
Their
GM will know if this kid can play. So if the Dolphins
that's why I made the Michael LaFleur connection.
Yeah, if the Dolphins are moving off Tua, but they're not ready to move on to Malik Willis, stay away.
Well, no, but they might just be rebuilding the way that they've kind of signaled when they trade or get rid of Tyreek Hill, when they let Bradley Chubb go. Like there's a real chance Miami just uses this next year as a gap year and doesn't try to actually compete.
Yeah, but you're missing the object of the exercise, and that is that's all well and good. Their rebuild, their retool, whatever term you want to talk.
They've signaled everything that suggests that. Yeah,
I get it. My point is, if there's one team in the National Football League right now that should want Malik Willis, it's the Dolphins.
Oh, see, I just look at it. I look at it the Cardinals for very similar reasons.
Well, the Cardinals. You want to talk about hopeless situations in the National Football League. For all the flack that the Browns get, and believe me, they deserve a lot of it. But Arizona is.
They got one of the best tight ends in the league in Trey McBride. You got a great young wide receiver in Marvin Harrison Jr., whose dad has been very vocal about. Like that offense isn't depleted. That defense isn't good.
Yeah,
that offense isn't depleted. Like there's a real chance that the other LaFleur enters that spot and thinks I'm going to go ahead and save this, and I'm going to save it awfully quickly.
Yeah, I just the NFL is such a relationship business. Okay. That's why. Like I look at if Miami is not one of the teams in hot pursuit. I'm not saying that they ultimately end up with them and make the best offer.
Ben Solak believes they are in hot pursuit. But he believes that the Jets are in hot pursuit too. He also believes the Browns are in hot pursuit. Do you buy the idea that the Browns are in hot pursuit for Malik Willis, or is this just chatter because it's March or February 23rd and this is just where all the teams are?
Yeah, I think right now they're doing their homework. Now, if you want to call that hot pursuit, that's fine. But I think right now what the Browns are doing is they're doing their homework.
I'd still end up shocked if they ended up signing Malik Willis.
Well, let's put it this way. There should be some buzz coming out of Indianapolis this week.
Okay.
Because that's where all this stuff gets done.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to break the news to everybody. The deals don't get done during the legal tampering period.
Hey, we got boots on the ground in Indy. We got Mac hanging out. You're doing the shrimp cocktails. You got the steakhouses all covered.
By the way, I absolutely recommend just piling that shrimp cocktail on top of the shrimp before you take that first bite.
It is a little chilly out there, so probably would help out with some of the sinuses. So I got you.
I buy the St. Elmo's horseradish sauce.
Yeah,
like from
you totally
the,
can.
from the grocery store. Like,
Yeah.
I buy it like on a very consistent basis. I'm
It is
obsessed.
very good.
I'm obsessed with horseradish right now. I don't know if you know this about me or
I
not.
did not. I just know you don't bring in the Iman Shumpert bobblehead. That's all I know.
The sandwiches, no, I don't, not yet. The sandwiches that I eat, like in between the breaks and stuff like that, it's just covered with horseradish.
Okay,
I'm obsessed with it. Right, I have been for like, I don't know, 6 or 7 months at this point.
He is in from a flavor standpoint ever since COVID. Like a lot of the concession items, the chefs that put a lot of spice. So apparently everybody's sense of taste and smell was wiped out with COVID. So like everything now that you get has to be a 4-alarm fire.
I love spicy food, so yeah, I'm all about it.
I like the burn, Daryl. I like the burn. Something tells me I'd be really into smelling salts too.
I do.
I don't know.
That wouldn't surprise me, but yeah, I'm not into the heartburn.
All right, so you're not really buying anything in the Malik Willis even being mentioned into this. It feels like
I am cautious about it right now.
If it ended up being Malik Willis, are you upset with that development?
No, I just shrugged my shoulders and okay, hope it works.
You're so laissez-faire about this whole thing.
No, I really am, because I was laissez-faire about the coaching hire.
What happened? How did you end up broke?
I've watched this team for 27 years.
But I mean, maybe you've always been broke. I'm not sure, Daryl.
And I've watched this organization operate for the last 13, 14 years.
I
know how they operate.
I've heard you in years past, though, end up getting to the optimism train.
Yeah, no, you're not getting that this offseason.
I've been on other end of phone calls from you being like, I think I'm going to publish this article that says the Browns are going to do X, Y, and Z, and it being very, very positive. And so, like, I know you have it in you. There's something existing within you right now that is stopping you from getting there.
Yeah, it's called I've watched what they've done the last few years.
All right.
It's me understanding they got to rebuild the offense. I don't even have names and faces to go with half these positions they have to fill yet. Like, look, by June, yeah, I might be a little more optimistic. But right now, no. They have no offensive line. They have really no good wide receivers. They have 1.5 good running backs. They have 1 good tight end. That's it.
What will it tell you, though, if they make a move for a Malik Willis? I wonder if it would put them in that category that I thought they existed in last year.
Well,
all of a sudden they think they have a much better football team than what they have.
Right. And as we talked about earlier in the show, looking back at last year, they told themselves they should have been an 8-win team. Even with an offense that couldn't score 17 points per game consistently.
I mean, I think I told you this story before. I had somebody that I know that works in TV, and they did a Browns game like week 3, week 4, whatever it was, and they talked to people within the Browns like ahead of that game.
Yeah.
And the Browns genuinely thought they had a team that was getting ready to go to the Super Bowl. Like they thought they had a juggernaut of a team last year.
Well, they had a juggernaut of a defense, which they wore down and wore out because of the ineffectiveness of the special teams unit combined with the offense. That's just a really bad combination. You can't dictate field position, and you don't have an offense that's capable of moving the ball or scoring points. A little bit of a problem, especially.
I know, but I do wonder, though, if what happened in the Super Bowl, and I always think this happens, it kind of warps different teams and different people's perception. Is that like, and you watch this, Seattle, dominant defense, and then they get there with Sam Darnold,
yeah.
And then the reflective nature of that, even C.J. Stroud with the Texans to a degree, Texans great defense, they win a playoff game, C.J. Stroud is just meh, didn't do anything great.
It's a copycat league, there's no question
you become
about it.
addicted to that. You start to think to yourself, we have this great defense, second in EPA on the season, what if we had our version of Sam Darnold? If they think that Malik Willis is that, then all of a sudden you can see how people in that front office would start to convince themselves, maybe we're not that far away. Maybe this is something we need to be doing. I would suggest it's fool's gold right now, but I can see how they could get there in their head.
Of the many problems the Browns have, that often is at the top of the list. They always think they're better than they really are.